He is a U.S. Army veteran and a former history teacher in the Shaler School District.
But Robert Morss was tried and convicted of acts of violence in the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol.
Now that he's been pardoned by President Trump, Morris wants to get on with his life and get back to teaching. Should the State Department of Education reinstate his teaching certificate? He talked with KDKA lead investigator Andy Sheehan.
Robert, you did 3 tours of duty in Afghanistan. The nation owes you a debt of gratitude for that. You consider yourself a patriot. Tell me.
3 tours in Afghanistan with 2nd Ranger Battalion. It was an honor. And on my first deployment, though, is where I decided to become a high school history teacher and to dedicate my life to that venue of work because I realized that my country would become the wasteland that I was walking through if the next generation didn't keep this republic.
Fighting the war on terror, Morse said he had a calling to teach. And coming back stateside, he attended Penn State. Upon graduation, he began teaching history part-time in the Shaler School District. Now that he's been pardoned, he'd like to resume his career. How could parents entrust you with their children as a history and civics teacher if you practice what some people would call political violence?
I think that the students and their parents can find comfort in knowing that there's no harm, no foul around being around me. How often do you have a high school history teacher that's contributed to history? Doesn't happen very often.
Well, some people would say not in a good way.
That's fair. And see, that's why having conversations like this is so important. So for the last 4 years, there's been a monopoly over what January 6th was, and the other side of the story has not been discussed nearly as much. And so having these conversations is important because I endeavor to not just teach history, but also fix it.
But federal prosecutors painted a different story, saying he went to D.C. dressed in military fatigues, prepared for battle. And they secured a conviction that he assaulted police by stealing an officer's shield, organizing a shield wall, and exhorting others to storm the Capitol, intending to disrupt the certification of the presidential election. People would say that you shouldn't teach history and you shouldn't teach civics because, you know, your actions betrayed the peaceful transfer of power.
I can see where people might be coming from, but I feel like that's a very hypocritical claim, seeing as how there's a lot of teachers out there that would rather focus on gender studies and critical race theory that are very damaging to the minds of the youth, as opposed to someone who just wanted to stand up for what they believed in.
You're teaching kids that, you know, if you don't like the results of representative democracy, then it's okay to take matters into your own hands.
I would say that I would want my students to question everything in history, question the Electoral College results, and in fact, question yourselves. That's what I would want my students to do more than anything. I don't want there to be a division in my classroom between Republicans and Democrats. I would rather have there be a division in my classroom of free thinkers and people who are about to become free thinkers.
As a convicted felon, the PA Department of Education revoked Morse's teaching certificate, but now that he's been pardoned, his record is being expunged. He tells me he'll be asking that his certificate be reissued so he can teach kids again. Still, Morse concedes his may not be a good example to follow.
I would probably teach the kids, don't go anywhere near that Capitol, guys. Didn't work out well for me, you know.
The State Department of Education has allowed for the reinstatement of teaching certificates in the past, but says this one would be a first. In a statement to KDKA Investigates, the department says it is, quote, unaware of any situation in which an individual requested reinstatement as the result of a presidential pardon. Reporting in the newsroom, Andy Sheehan, KDKA-TV News.